Welcome to the Boston Garden, where today the Boston Celtics play host to the Seattle SuperSonics, the first meeting of the year of 1979 and 80 between these two clubs. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender, and welcome to the beginning of Super Sunday on CBS. We'll start it all here with this basketball game, then switch to the Southwest for the fourth and final round of the Phoenix Open, and then to the classic Super Bowl 14 from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. As I mentioned, we're in the Boston Garden, and you talk about a rich basketball tradition. There's none better than right here. The Boston Celtics have won 13 NBA championships, and a lot of the individuals are honored here by the fact that 13 jerseys have been retired. Number 6, Bill Russell, was one of those. What an impact he had in the NBA. Bill Russell came into the NBA in 1956, a two-time All-American from San Francisco, one of the most physically intimidating players that ever played the game. He went on to play on 11 NBA championship teams in 13 years, 8 of those in a row, and 5 times he was selected as the MVP in the NBA. Bill Russell later coached the Boston Celtics from 66 to 69, 2 times, winning back-to-back championships, and then went on to Seattle to coach the SuperSonics from 73 to 77. Well, we mentioned Bill Russell, and it's a great deal of pleasure that we welcome him as a part of the CBS broadcast team. Russ, glad to have you with us.
Well, it's nice to be here.
You know, Bill, I'm curious. You had so much success here. Is there something special about coming back into the Boston Garden after so many years?
Well, you know, I was all right until I looked at this floor, and I remembered how many times I ran up and down this thing, and I'm getting a little tired just standing here looking at it.
You know, you had a unique opportunity. You coached not only Boston here, but as we mentioned, you also had a chance to coach Seattle. What are your feelings about these two clubs as they come in here?
Well, I see they both got better coaches.
But have you seen a lot of changes?
Oh, yes, the game has changed a bit. But, you know, it's funny, the more the game changes, the more it remains the same. Because the good teams consistently play the same way. They play strong defense. They mostly fast break. But you find that you don't find many all-stars on the real good teams. Although they are players of all-star quality, they make the sacrifices that it takes to be part of a winning team. And both these teams are prime examples of it. And as I said, they're both just so well coached that it's fun to watch them.
Okay, now let's go to Hot Rod Hundley, another member of our broadcast team. He's with Coach Lenny Wilkins.
Well, it was only about 7 months ago, Lenny, that the Seattle SuperSonics won the World Championship. Congratulations to you, and this is your first appearance in 80. And we'll take a look at the tape of that game last year when you won the championship, and it was really some game.
It was really exciting, Rod. It was just a great thrill for all of us, and you'll see the expressions once we got the ball in the end after the missed shot. We were going to run the timeout, and from that point on, it was just bedlam there. You know, the truly remarkable series.
That's when Greg Ballard missed a shot, so congratulations once again. And also congratulations. You're going to be the coach of the Western Conference All-Stars. Your club started slow. You won only 3 of your first 8, but since then you're 32-8.
That's true, Rod. I thought that after the first 2 years of going to the championship round, all the intensity, all the emotion kind of drained us, and we were physically ready, but not mentally. But we regrouped and got right back into it, and as you can see, the players have gotten us to where we are right now.
How about the game plan for today against Boston?
Well, I think there are a number of things about Boston. One, we have to take the fast break away from them. They like to catch teams in transition. They utilize their forwards real well, cutting across low, and they like to go inside with either Maxwell or Larry Bird. So we're going to try and take that away.
Okay, Lenny, good luck to you.
Thanks, Rod.
Lenny Wilkins. Now let's go back to Gary Bender and Bill Russell for the matchup of today's game.
All right, Rod, that's true, Bill. We were just talking about the matchups in the game today. How do you look at them?
Well, I think if you start with the backcourt, Seattle is definitely stronger in the backcourt. They have 3 first-class guards, and you have to talk about at least 3 guards. You're going to talk about strength in the backcourt. In the center, I think Boston has the edge. Not much of an edge, but I think the edge is that Cowens is more mobile. At the forwards, it's about even, but they're so different. They're even in terms of what they get done, but the way they get it done is so different. The Seattle forwards play more of a role than the Boston forwards. Now, John Johnson is one of the best forwards in the league, although no one knows that much about it. The fact that he's probably one of the best passers and a good defensive player and has a good all-around game, whereas Larry Bird has a lot of notoriety. He does the same thing He may be a better shooter, but not much better. But he does it such a different way. And the other forward, Lonnie Shelton, is a big, strong guy, whereas Maxwell is more finesse. And so they get the same thing done. So it should be a good game. But at this point, the edge has to go to Seattle.
Okay, now let's go back to Hot Rod. He's with Nate Archibald.
Johnny, a great recovery. After a year and a half, you're out of basketball. You've come back to lead this Boston team back to the top. Congratulations.
Well, injuries have been tough on me for the last 2 years, and I'm just trying to get it back together. And I don't think I'm 100% right now, but maybe next year, maybe for the rest of the season, I'll try to play well and run the ball club, and we'll win some games.
You've played great with a lot of great players. How good is Larry Bird?
Larry Bird is super. I think he takes a lot of pressure off a lot of guys on the team. He can shoot, he can pass, he can run. He's not, I wouldn't say one of the quicker forwards in the league, but he can do so many other things, and he surprises me every ball game with the tricks that he does, with the moves, and he's just awesome when he wants to be.
All right, Gus and DJ had 60 between them, or 58 the last game Friday night against the Knicks. That's going to be tough for you and Chris Ford in the backcourt.
Well, I don't even want to dwell on it. Last time we played them out in Seattle, they put on a show. I think what we're going to try to do this afternoon is press them all over the court and try to wear them down. Gus is super on the offense, and so is DJ. He can, he can jump over guys. So what we're going to try to do is press them and try to just offset, their running game by trying to keep the ball out of the guard's hands and make the forwards handle the ball a little bit.
Okay, good luck to you, Johnny.
Okay, thanks, Hot Rod.
All right, let's go back to Gary Bender for the introduction of the starting lineup.
All right, a sellout crowd. The 16th sellout in 23 starts. 8 of the last 9 games here in the Boston Garden. They love their Celtics. Let's check the starting lineup. The SuperSonics, they've won 6 in a row. Their last win coming in Madison Square Garden against the New York Knicks. And here is Lonnie Shelton, fourth-year man out of Oregon State, big physical forward for Seattle. John Johnson, he's the key to their defense, and he's maybe the most underrated player on this basketball team. 10th-year man out of Iowa. And here's the banger, Jack Sikma, third-year man from Illinois Wesleyan, averaging over 15 points and 11 rebounds. Big physical guy. And here's Gus Williams leading them in scoring. This man, as we mentioned at the top of the show, really ignites this club. And what a defensive player Dennis Johnson is. Last year he had 97 block shots from that guard spot. And now for the Boston Celtics. Bill Fitch, in his first year as head coach of Boston. They had a big win here Friday night against Portland, and this is Cedric Maxwell. Maxwell, third-year man out of North Carolina, Charlotte, averaging over 17 points a game. And here he is, a rookie sensation, Larry Bird out of Indiana State, 6'10". And Dave Cowan, who played so well Friday night. Cowan, 10-year man from Florida State. And here comes Nate Archibald. Tiny, he may be the comeback player of the year in the NBA. He's the perfect guard for this team, and Chris Ford joins him in the backcourt. He's an 8th-year man from Villanova. As the Celtics against the SuperSonics, the tip-off in a moment.
Remember, Earl,
we're ready to go now. Earl Strom along with Bill Oates, our 2 officials for today's game. The first meeting of the year between these 2 clubs. As you know, under the new format, the East and West don't get together as often this year.
Well, you play each other in your division 6 times and travel. If you're in the West, like Seattle, you'll come to the East once. So only 1 trip into the Boston Gardens. Of course, Russ, I'm sure that Seattle's very happy to only have to come here once.
All right, Jack Sikma will go up, and he'll be opposed by Dave Cowens. Cowens gave the Celtic team a real shot in the arm Friday night. They were trailing by 11 points. He came in and scored 14 points in the third quarter to turn that game around for Boston. And Earl Strom is ready to go, and we're ready to go. And glad to have you with us on Super Sunday. Just sit back, relax, and watch. We have a full day of activity for you. Cedric Maxwell up to Chris Ford. And here's Tiny Archibald. He's second in the NBA in assists. He's regained that form of 72 and 73 when he led the NBA in scoring as well as assists. Dave Cowens. Bird.
That's not good. Making every verse because he had the big guy right on him, Jack Sikma, and he did it smartly.
Larry Bird, by the way, has only scored over 20 points once in the last 10 games. Backdoor intended for Williams. Can't hang on to it.
Well, you know, the teams just feeling each other out now, but what Seattle likes to do is they like to determine the pace. Now, I think that what Boston's going to have to do is work the ball to their forwards. They're going to have to try to wear down make the Seattle forwards play defense so they're not so tough on the boards. Because that's what keys the Seattle offense is the fact that they like the fast break off the defensive boards.
Here's Chris Ford getting it outside. Both these teams, they don't get it underway. The shot clock. So you can see how tough the defense is. Seattle, by the way, is second in the NBA in defense.
And they can exploit the weakness of other teams, as Paul Salas put it after the Friday win over New York, coming from back 20 points. He said, we can do it. We can adjust to any style. And that's why they have a great record.
Both these teams have all 5 of their starters in double figures scoring average. Give you an idea of the balance that they have. 8 seconds on the shot clock. They're having to work for the shot. Lonnie Shelton. And Shelton's tied it up 2-2 in the early going. Here comes Archibald. Shelton breaks it up. Ford. Dave Cowens comes away with it. Boy, both these teams, they make you work, don't they, Hot Rod? Into Maxwell.
You better believe it.
Ford can't hang on. Dennis Johnson on the break. Gus Williams. Beautiful.
That's where they're tough on their fast break. They don't throw it away.
DJ made a nice pass there. Gus just came in from the left side. Never had to stop on the play.
Here's Maxwell. Nice running hook this time by Thorngren.
That's not in the scouting report on his offensive moves, but he hooked that one in nicely.
He's leading the NBA in shooting percentage from the field. Here's Shelton. Lonnie Shelton. He's kind of a deceptive guy. Big, strong guy, but still with a good touch. Archibald inside. Earl Strom has spotted the foul on Gus Williams.
That would have counted had it gone. He was fouled on the act of shooting, so 2 free throws coming. We'll take a look again at the play. Archibald, who penetrates as well as any guard in basketball. The southpaw from UTEP. Drive it down the left side. And then Gus reached in to get him for the fouls. He laid the shot up.
He's an inside and an outside threat. And for his size, you wouldn't expect it. He's 6'1", shooting very well from the free throw line, hitting 80% for the year. 6'5".
It's a classic matchup, Gus Johnson and Tiny Archibald, because they're both as fast as you. It's unbelievable how fast they are.
They're mean little rascals.
And we're all even. 6 up. Gus Williams, Archibald on him. Ford will pick up Dennis Johnson. 2 very quick men against each other. John Johnson, JJ, out of Iowa. He has Bird up, and Bird has committed the foul on that basket. Will it count? No basket. Oh, wait a minute, an offensive foul.
That should have been a three-pointer, in my opinion, Russ. Let's look at it.
And so, as we come back, Dennis Johnson able to pull one in. And while you're away on that CBS News special report, we had a charging foul on Archibald, and you just watched Johnson make it a 10-6 game in favor of Seattle. Chris Ford. That's a tough shot. Shelton brings it down. Ford, when he was playing with Detroit, Hot Rod only averaged about 5 shots a game. He's really changed his style.
He's got a new career now with his three-point field goal range this year in the NBA. He leads the league with about 46 of them out front.
Archibald. Cowens, and we have a traveling call on Dave Cowens, so that'll turn it back to Seattle.
Here's the just little steps. They weren't real big ones. He says, you're not supposed to come unless you go someplace.
That little guy can't take big steps.
John Johnson with Larry Bird on him. And a foul. Larry Bird reaching in on John Johnson.
You know, the key in these matchups is these guys each got a role to play, but they got some head-to-head things that they got to make work to make the guys work. So if you make a guy work where he doesn't want to work as hard, then he has to let up somewhere.
Sigma with the missed shot. Archibald trying to convert. Maxwell trying to follow tip. Look at Cowens hustle. 10-6, Seattle with the lead. Ford. Boy, that's a nice move by Chris Ford.
That's the old leaping leader. Off balance, leaned out with that right hand and dropped it through. And that's a tough shot without using the backboard.
Ford averaging close to 12 points a game. John Johnson, Shelton. Nice touch by the big guy again. Shelton out of Oregon State, 6 points for him.
He's really helped this club, Lonnie Shelton.
Yes, he has, because he's a good rebounder, and he's the way they play, they bring out the best in him.
12-8 our
But
score.
he's got a pretty good scoring touch.
And that's what Dave Cowens can do so well, Russ. He can make him come outside to pick him up.
If he shoots well, then they got to open up. Sigma to come out and open the middle up, so then the guys can drive a little better.
2-point lead now for the Sonics. Shelton out to Johnson.
Could certainly make Bird more effective. He could drive then if Cowens comes high.
And there is Sigma going to the baseline, and he's been fouled by Dave Cowens.
Tripped him up as he made it move to the baseline left. Boston will take a timeout as Bill Fitch and Lenny Wilkins will talk things over with their respective clubs. It's Seattle 12, Boston 10. We're in the first quarter.
Super Bowl 14 will conclude it all. The classic from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Who do you like, Hot Rod?
The Rams in 10 or 11.
Boy, you are bold today. With Bill Russell and Hot Rod Huntley, I'm Gary Bender. We have 6:54 to go. First quarter, 12-10. Seattle with the lead. Over Boston, Dennis Johnson. Rick Roby, who just checked in, comes away with the rebound off to Nate Archibald. And Roby has really been an instrumental force in this Boston team.
He's big. He can hit that board, too. He can play forward or center, and that's helped Boston.
He can really run with the ball. He comes down on the break very effectively. Dave Cowens, running left-hand hook.
The strategy for putting Roby in is to try to counter Seattle's dominance of the board. And Maxwell's not a strong enough guy to play against these guys they don't feel, I guess, in the first quarter.
Boy, they are physical with Sigma and Shelton in there. Here comes Bird away. And the Celtics with a chance now to take the lead. Archibald to Chris Ford, and he walked with the basketball. That's twice now. They've been down the floor on the wing area and turned the ball over. That's 5 turnovers already against him.
You take a look again. He tried to put the brakes on and just took one step too many. It was a good call.
Gus Williams, 22-point average, 4th in the NBA in steals. Up to Sigma. Gus Williams, boom. What touch this guy has.
Otani said he didn't want to talk about their guards.
Chris Ford at the other end, so both teams answering in a hurry. And it's tied up 14-all. John Johnson, the veteran out of Iowa, yelling out the instructions. He's going to find Gus on the baseline. And that basket will count, and a foul coming up against Rick Roby. What a play and what a pass by Johnson.
This is what you call pulling a string.
He pulled it.
Now, he makes a good pass to get Gus free under there. But the big guys there, there's the old string there.
Got him out of position with a good head and shoulder fake, but missed the free throw.
So the chance for the three-point play doesn't materialize. Larry Bird, that's a left-handed shot. Roby and Shelton going up. We're going to have a loose ball foul on Rick Roby.
That's not a very popular call. Looked like both players were going for the ball and just banged bodies, but the ball will go back to Seattle after Bird made that good move to the hoop. There's your play, and right there, Shelton, apparently on a delay call, elbowed him away.
That's the one the referees usually get, that second one.
Roby now with 2 personal fouls. Up to Shelton. Roby picking him up, second-year man of Kentucky, former Indiana Pacer. Bill Rhodes has spotted something inside.
Archibald, offensive foul.
No, Dennis Johnson, they think, kind of ran over Archibald a little bit on the cut there.
Hey, Archibald isn't very big to get run over by Johnson, who's 6'5".
Oh, there he pushed Chris Ford a little bit. Just a little push.
Team fouls already, Boston with 4. Here's Cowens, picked up by Sigma. And coming down is Shelton, nobody out there. Ford in a lot of congestion. You try to go down the middle on these guys and look out.
Play good team defense, the Seattle SuperSonics, and the important thing is defensively to keep that middle bottled up.
We mentioned they're second defensively. They're also second in the league in rebounding. That's a pretty good combination. Johnson.
See, that time they wouldn't let Cowens come across the middle and forced him to shoot outside.
You can see they're getting only 1 shot at him, too, Hot Rod. They don't get those multiple shots very often against Seattle. Johnson, baseline. Archibald anticipates, and Cowens has it. The crowd here loves it. Larry Bird, Johnson. What a pass to Roby, and a foul coming up. Bird, just a remarkable passer.
That last play, though, Archibald, Russ, wasn't to be fooled twice when he got down on the defensive end and then came back smartly with the ball.
He did what the good defensive players do. I don't know what he was doing that. He opened up so he could could watch the ball and his man, and that's what you have to do when you're playing against a team that cuts as well as a team like Seattle.
How about Russell? Russ, about Bird's passing though on that play. He can really see the open man.
Well, he has good eyes, as we say, that he sees any movement, and he can make a good pass. What I like about his pass is the touch on it. When it's necessary to a hard pass, he throws a hard pass. But most of his passes you can catch and do something with it.
Lonnie Shelton from outside. So after Roby, who was only shooting 65% from the line, missed 2, Shelton came down and got 2. And it's an 18-14 game, 8 points now. Shelton getting him off the mark very effectively here in the Boston Garden. Archibald, Williams on him. Look at the pushing and shoving inside. Sikma gets the ball.
That's a good defensive move. He fronted Cowens all the way. Worked hard.
John Johnson, and he can do that. He can pull up and shoot that shot very effectively. And now it's a 6-point lead for Seattle.
If you watch inside, Gary, you'll see Sikma deny Cowens moves across the middle to get to the ball.
They're going to be a couple of tired men by the end of this day.
Right there he is, trying to get to in front of him.
Now he has the ball. Johnson supporting inside. Forward, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Roby, Cowens hustling in there. But Dennis Johnson comes away with it. Gus Williams, look at the transition basketball. They get down the other end. Dennis Johnson leaning in. Bird. John Johnson was back. Bird's going to take it in.
He's bobbing and a weaving.
Yes, he can handle that ball. And what I like about him, he's a big guy that when he's dribbling the ball, he doesn't put his head down.
Keeps it up, see his teammates. That time they drop back, anticipating Bird to pass.
4 points for Larry Bird. John Johnson comes right back. Rebound by Bird. Now watch Bird. He really does extremely good job on the break. And there's an evidence of it.
Kept his head up. He dribbled out of the pack, and he saw Ford down low left. The fans here really love him. They appreciate his all-around good play.
So after a his teammates love him.
So after a 6-point lead, all of a sudden, Boston has pulled within 2 at 2:18 of this first quarter.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, Atlanta, San Antonio. What a game that's going to be. Let's look at this last break, Russell.
What Bird did was, like I said, he keeps his head up, and he saw Chris Ford get ahead. He just made just a nice, soft pass over there. Although he got there fast.
That'll keep guys moving, too, when they know that a player like him will keep it up, like the old days when Bob Cousy got the ball for the Celtics that you were with. You guys took off when he had the ball.
Because you know he'd find a way to get it to you.
Right.
Dennis Johnson, the Sonics with a 2-point lead. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Maxwell back in the ball game with a rebound. Archibald, and who stabilizes that fast break and makes things happen. Off to Maxwell, who's replaced by Rick Roby. Roby picked up a couple of quick fouls. He's back out of there. Shelton against Maxwell. Dave Cowens. You can't let him hit that shot. He'll hit it.
Sikma got caught inside there trying to block the middle up, and there was a good play by Maxwell as he penetrated and dished it back. And Cowens hit out front.
6 unanswered points now by Boston. They've tied it up. 1.5 minutes to go, first quarter. Johnson, Sikma, wide open. Maxwell brings it down. I don't think Sikma can believe he was that
wide open.
Larry Bird with John Johnson on him. Look at that pass. Maxwell, Bird, Sikma brings it down again. They call him the banger, and you can see why he's always battling on those boards.
And every team that shoots a layup against Seattle, they know that they shot a layup.
Gus Williams trying to get the lead back for the Sonics. Look at Shelton staying there. Shelton, tough on the boards. Gus Williams comes away with it. And despite all the hustle, we have a loose ball foul on Lonnie Shelton.
Good hustle in there by both clubs. Cornbread got the inside track on the miss by Gus. Bird did a good job of intimidating Gus a little bit. He ran out to get him on the shot. So we look at it again, and Gus picked it up. Watch Bird come over, Russ.
Yeah, he made him put a little more arch on than he wanted to. But you see here, with guys all over the place, why these two teams are so good. Not only do they have talent, raw talent, but these guys are tough. And they're banging around there, and nobody's backing off.
We have a change now for Seattle. Tom Lagarde has come in, replacing Jack Sikma at center. Shelton, by the way, now has 2 personal fouls.
Lagarde from University of North Carolina.
He was out last year with a knee injury, but played very well for the first 23 games. 20-20 our score. Gus Williams, the Johnson. They just can't get that ball to go down right now. Seattle doing everything but getting the ball to go down.
I'll tell you one thing, they're getting to know each other under the boards, though.
DJ took it right to him on that play and missed it with the left hand.
The faint of heart better get out from underneath, right?
Well, DJ thinks he's about 7-1 anyway.
We have 29 seconds left in this first quarter. 20-20 our score. Archibald with Williams on him. Maxwell being denied the ball inside by Shelton. I don't know how you get away from Shelton. Look at this play.
That's how you get away.
Beautiful, but he didn't get it to go. Shelton brings it down. 13 seconds. You can see it on the upper right-hand portion of your screen. John Johnson to Dennis. And he just can't get the ball to drop. Gus Williams. He got that with 2 seconds.
That one will drop.
Got a good first quarter.
It sure was.
Boston leading, whether Seattle have 22-20 at the end of the first quarter.
Well, it's been a tight game, gentlemen. We've had a lead change 7 times, 5 ties in the first 12 minutes of play.
Been a low-scoring period, but a lot of body bumping out there. Seattle made 11 out of 25 shots. Boston 9 out of 20.
Well, that's an indication of good defense. Now, these guys are great shooters on both teams. And when they're shooting under 50%, it's because of defense. And both these teams are playing good defense. And it's very interesting to me to watch the contact on the board.
Hey, M.L. Carr coming in.
Well,
Guilford Cottage, he's really helped this club. They got him from Detroit. And downtown Freddie Brown for Seattle, who can fill it up outside.
And 36-year-old Paul Silas is also checked in. So both teams now going to the bench.
He wears that number. He's going to change it every year he stays in the league. When he's 36 years old, he put on 36. Next year, he'll wear 37. He'll get out of the league when he's 40.
2-point lead now for Seattle, and there is Silas. He's only averaging a little over 3 points a game, and that's going to be Boston's basketball. There's Dave Cowens with a breather.
He won't be there long.
Rick Roby has come back in, and you mentioned M.L. Carr, the fine 6th man for this Boston team, a tradition that Boston's had with the Frank Ramseys and so forth. Here is Roby. Silas brings it down.
What these coaches are doing is substituting to keep the same type of game going, so that when you put Roby in instead of Cowens, you know you're going to get a lot of contact. When you take Sigma out and you put Silas in, you get a lot of contact. So they're trying to maintain the same kind of team for their guards, essentially.
With that basket, Williams now is in double figures with 10 points and a 4-point lead for the Sonics. Roby, that's a tough left-handed shot, and down with the ball, downtown Freddie Brown.
Roby's a little excited about his play in there, trying to get the shot away.
Did you see that break? What a move. Williams was almost a blur when he went through.
Right back the other little guy. And he'll get fouled. We'll go back to the other play a moment ago.
Now, what was good about this is a great pass, just to lead, because you lay it out in front and let Gus Williams run to it, because he can run to most of them.
Just did get it up to his body was under the plane of the board, and he had to reach back kind of to get the shot away.
Well, he's probably the best in the league at being under control at full speed.
At the other end, Tom Lagarde committed the foul, and Tiny Archibald at the line. That's the first point of this second quarter for Boston at the 10:46 mark. Archibald hitting 80%, as we said, from the line, second in the NBA in assists, and almost a 15-point average.
A moment ago, offensively, when Boston came out twice, they went inside to Roby, and with Tom Lagarde against him, he looked a little anxious to get his shots away, like, I'm going to take this little guy to the hoop, and that little guy in that little.
He said, I got a live one, I got a live one.
Right.
Lagarde comes down with it. The former Denver Nugget out of North Carolina. And I guess he's rehabilitated that knee all the way.
He's a competitor. He had that starting job at one time.
Here's Brown, and he'll put him up. Boom. Beautiful shot.
Pound.
I love the rotation he gets on the ball, and it's a 7-point lead now for Seattle. Archibald out to Bird.
Nice
there is
speed.
some pass to Roby.
Brought 2 defenders to him. Bird. I didn't dished it off.
Gus Williams. Silas in there, always around the boards. He likes to do that little finger roll. That basket will not count. It's a loose ball foul.
Offensive, he leaned into Bird and a couple of other people. Ball was barreling in there. Super Bowl until later.
Well, Paul Silas, who's been mixing them up for many, many years, that way came away the worse for wear. European figure skating. You like ice skating?
I love it.
And there's the two men, Lenny Wilkins, who will be coaching the NBA All-Star team for the second consecutive year, and Bill Fitch.
Next Saturday on Sports Spectacular, you see a European figure skating and motorcycle jump off. Bill Russell has a motorcycle. I'd like to see that.
Here's ML Carr.
You won't see me jump any place with it, I can tell you that, Rod.
Chris Ford, off balance, Silas. Silas always there with the rebound.
Such a body. He looks like he's gaining weight every year. But he's still mean on the boards.
28-23, the Sonics with the lead. Fred Brown, Ford on him. Tom Lagarde. Nice move. Larry Bird brings it down. Off to Archibald. That is some move by Archibald.
Incredible. He saw daylight down the middle and went there in a hurry.
He wasn't going to be there very long.
He is one of the big reasons Boston has returned, and the people are filling the seats here in the Garden. Lagarde off to Fred Brown. Roby brings it down with authority. Fred Brown trying to hold up Chris Ford. 9 minutes remaining, second quarter. ML Carr played last year with Detroit, a free agent, and he loves to play in that sixth-man role. The Roby reaching in. Fred Brown got a hand on Roby, and he comes away with a foul. They really support, don't they? They collapse back in when they get that ball inside.
Oh, yeah, both these teams help out, and they both play man-to-man defenses and help out. And some of the teams try to help out by playing zones, but the good teams have to play man-to-man.
Well, no, wait a minute. Now, you're supposed to play man-to-man in this league. All teams.
Oh, that's the way it's supposed to go.
You did, didn't you, Bill?
Oh, no.
That's why you got out of coaching, huh?
That's right.
Don't let you play a zone anymore.
Having a little trouble with the basketball right now. It's like we're going to play with a different basketball. They're looking it over, checking it out, see if it's inflated properly, and we're ready to go again. 28-25, Seattle. Archibald to Ford. Look at the pushing inside again.
That's Johnny Johnson on Bird.
Roby, Lagarde on him. Archibald to the left-hander. Lagarde off to Williams. John Johnson hustling down. And I think maybe that's the name of his game, is hustle. 30-25. They led by 6 earlier, and now Seattle with a 5-point lead. Ford to Bird. Bird having to work for everything he's going to get. Silas again with a rebound. Silas had so many rebounds in his 16-year career. Williams off to Lagarde. And he walked with the ball.
They got him. Speaking of Silas, as a college player, Creighton, twice he led the nation in rebounds, and another year he was a runner-up. Not bad.
He has over 12,000 rebounds in his career. That is a bunch. Larry Bird, by the way, has 4 points and 6 rebounds, but he's had to work to get anything to go down. Don Chaney has now checked in at guard for Boston. He'll be in the backcourt along with Archibald. Cowens has also come back in with Roby and ML Carr. Cowens, who's been a catalyst for this team. Chaney. Shelton brings it down, and Roby has picked up his 3rd personal foul.
It's unusual to see Chaney come in and pump that quickly, Russ. He's not a scorer anyway.
Well, that was a little outside of his range.
That old Shelton for the rebound.
Don played for you on that championship team, didn't he? Or he played later, yeah. He's been around for a long time. That long reach of his. Here's Silas. 32-25. And Seattle is getting those multiple shots. Boston's getting 1 crack, and that's about it.
See, there's an example of team defense. Shelton jumped right out on Carr.
That's Williams. And again, only 1 crack at it.
And you notice not only are they not getting 2 shots, but they're not getting anything close.
Lagarde can't hang on. Here comes Cowan. Archibald. Brown is back. Nice play by Tony.
And a perfect feed from Cowens. Led him right in stride, or he would not have had the layup.
7 points for Archibald. Williams right around Cowan. Roby with a reject. This crowd now starting to fire up. Archibald, ML Carr. Roby with a follow. And all of a sudden, the Celtics have been ignited, and Lenny Wilkins wants a timeout. He does not like the way things are going.
That's a trademark of Boston Celtic basketball. You get in a running game with them, you can be in real trouble. And the Celtics coming back. Seattle 32, Boston 29.
How about next Sunday from the hemisphere in San Antonio?
Shootout.
Atlanta put that defense on that running game. Something's got to give there, huh?
And San Antonio right on their heels, so that's going to be a real fired-up match. And San Antonio, one of the running, gunning clubs in this NBA.
Well, Seattle's led by as many as 7. They've had it whacked down to 3. Brown, Silas, Sigma. Cheney had a hand on that and broke it up.
One thing that's kept Boston right in here, the guards scoring is 16-13 in favor of Seattle. And you would expect that Seattle would have a bigger edge than just 3 points in that backcourt.
Boy, they had a big edge on Friday night, didn't they, against the Knicks? We'll have our halftime highlights. Check it up on the division races. Cheney, Maxwell trying to follow. I don't think they want Cheney shooting out there that much.
Not if they can help it.
Johnson, nice reach in by Cheney. Cheney, those long arms. He can play the defense.
Well, you see, with a helping out defense, you're going to concede the offensive team some shots. And if they're going to concede a shot, they would rather concede Cheney, that 10 to 15-footer, than anything else.
There's an unblockable shot by Sigma, but he didn't get it. And Brown comes away with a steal on Cheney. Nice play by Fred Brown.
That's where you really got to be careful of the ball. You come off with a rebound or a loose ball, and they turn around carelessly, not protect it, and Brown just took it right away from him.
Archibald putting a move on Dennis Johnson. Sigma blocked it. Cowens has it, and he gets it through the arms of Shelton for 2.
He never brought her down, Russ. That's a smart play. Get that rebound and go right back up.
If he brought it down, he might have got hit.
Boy, he's strong enough. He doesn't have to bring it down. 3-point lead again for the Sonics. Johnson, Cowens comes out. We have a mismatch. And it's broken up. They got away with it. Cowens off to Carr. Carr intended for Maxwell. I think Shelton touched it last. No. It's going to be Seattle's ball.
Carr should have taken a shot on that play, overpass. You watch him take it in here.
Trying to avoid the offensive foul.
Right there, he should have pumped the shot right up. The defensive man leaned back.
You know, that's 9 turnovers for Seattle. 7 for Boston. Both these teams committing the mechanical problems.
Boston doing a good job defensively on the weak side. Forwards dropping in to help, too. Maxwell last time got that ball on a steal.
Brown with Archibald behind him. 36-31, a 5-point lead now for the Sonics. Sonics have won 13 of their last 17. They started out slow. They were 3-5 in the early going of the year. Cowens. Shelton. You can see now the tempo back in favor of Seattle. They're starting to control it once again after those 2 quick breaks before the timeout. Maxwell trying to stay with Shelton. Into Sigma. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Look at that move. The Cowens got away with the rebound. That was some move by Sigma.
Great move. Had that ball up high, too. Of course, Cowens come out, and then he drove by him.
Cheney's going to try another one. He's 0 for 3 now. Silas almost walked to the ball, and he did. Here comes Wally Walker into the lineup. Walker, 4th-year man from Virginia, who's played very well this year.
Right there is where he walked with that ball as he tried to give it back to Sigma.
Well, he was trying to get it down on a fast break, but the man that was open wasn't open anymore.
That's 10 turnovers
that gets
now.
You every time. You know, you jump up in the air to pass. That's one of the things that you have to try to avoid.
Earl Strom spots something inside, some pushing and shoving going on. That's Wally Walker, who just checked in.
There's Archibald moving out down low. Wally Walker making contact. Here's a guard that can move. Gerald Henderson coming in for the Boston Celtics.
He is quick. A rookie out of Virginia Commonwealth. He played in the Western League, Tucson. Getting another crack at making the NBA. Archibald goes out with a total of 7 points and gets a breather. Brown with Carr. Here's Henderson.
Oh, he walked. Got away with it.
He sure did. Cowens tries to follow. Is it tough up there? Here comes Shelton. Not enough room for all those guys under. 3.5 minutes to go till halftime. At halftime, a report on the Phoenix Open, a halftime highlight package. Walker thought he had the rebound. Instead, Carr does. A lot of quick hands reaching in for the ball.
This is a tough basketball game.
Very physical. 36-31. Seattle with 3:05 left in the first half. This may be an all-time low.
Boy, though, the intensity's something in it. Here's Carr again. Sigma brings it down. Neither one shooting well, but a lot of it has to go to the defense being thrown up by both clubs.
Those zones are working, huh?
There's your time remaining.
Boston's made only 5 out of 19 shots in this quarter.
Here's Brown getting a little closer in that little sideways jump shot he's known for, and it's a 7-point lead now for the Sonics.
Boston wants a timeout.
And they're going to get it as Gerald Henderson comes to an abrupt halt. So the Celtics, who came within 3 just moments ago, are down by 7 now. 2:31 to go, second quarter. So mark it down, Saturday, 5 o'clock Eastern time on the Sports Spectacular European Figure Skating Championships, the motorcycle jump-off. I guess not starring Bill Russell, is that right? Is he...
He's got a motorcycle, but he doesn't jump on it. At 6'9", he better not.
Must be a tall motor.
There's only one thing wrong with jumping. You got to land sooner or later.
We come back here with 2:31 left to go in this first half. 7-point lead for Seattle and the Celtics with the ball.
Boston has scored only 31 points in this half. We got 2:27 left. Last Sunday, they had 36 points in the second half. That's their season low for the year. And they could beat it again right here.
They got off on slow footing Friday night against Portland, then came back. We have 4 seconds on the shot clock. And with 2 seconds, Cowens tries to follow, and it's looks like volleyball going around in there, the way they're tipping that ball around. Brown yelling some instructions. Gerald Henderson, tough chore for this young man. Johnson.
Oh, boy, that's a great feed. He almost got it. Try to dunk it down.
Here's ML Carr at the other end. Nice move. He's fouled. The basket will count.
That'll be Wally Walker called for the foul. Boy, he swept in there in a hurry. ML Carr.
That's probably a shot he should have taken when he threw it away the last time he went in.
That's right. Same move, Russ, right there.
Same move.
That's what Carr does so well, those long arms, doesn't he? He gets up, lays it off the glass with good touch. Walker with his second foul, a chance for a 3-point play for ML Carr.
He's happy to be here, this guy. He just loves to play.
Yes, he does. He had a chance to go a lot of places and ended up here in Boston on that free agency, averaging 12 points a game. 4-point lead now. Inside, as you see, 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Brown, he's getting open in that wing area. Sigma. Cowens comes out on him quickly. Cowens is intimidating Sigma. Here's Henderson. This crowd alive here. ML Carr off to Bird. Bird hasn't had the ball that much, and we have a foul.
Walker pushing him from behind. Bird, again, like Roby earlier, with the guard against him, wanted that shot. He said, I got a small man on me. Give me that ball. And he wanted to back in and get a shot away.
Well, Walker is one of the weaker defensive players on Seattle, so the coaches, they go over the game, over the personnel before the game, and they said, well, with this guy, you can do this, with this guy, you can do that. And he's one of those kind of guys that you want to try to take him inside.
And you can do that.
Yeah, he won't hit you too hard. See, some of the guys will hit you, and it'll hurt, and he'll just hit you to get the foul, see.
The penalty in now, as that was the 3rd foul on Wally Walker. Let's pick those up in a hurry.
Now, one thing I've noticed about the Celtics, I saw him play Friday night, they don't go to Larry Bird very much.
Go to whoever's open, right?
Right, whoever the open man is.
Did you see Cowens reach in on Sigma and drag him out of there? Looked like he was going to give him a bear hug.
There are your stats. Seattle 44%, Boston only 26. They remain cold, yet they're only down by 4 with 1:25 left to the half.
That was the 2nd foul on Cowens.
See, when you're playing good defense, though, you can shoot in the 20s and 30s and stay in the game. You won't be ahead, but you can stay in the game.
Brown, Henderson on him. 1:13 remaining till half. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Brown giving Henderson a lesson. Rebound by Cowens. And here they come. A chance to cut it to 2. Henderson going to try it. Dennis Johnson. All alone is Fred Brown at the other end. Cowens gets back, and Brown will try one. Cowens, great hustle on his part, keeping an easy 2 from being scored by Seattle. Carr to Maxwell.
Beautiful pass. That's the way to run a fast break.
That's the way to run it, and don't let up.
And again, you can see when the Celtics step up the tempo, things start to happen for them.
And Cowan's got back defensively to start the whole thing and got the rebound out.
Brown trying to make it a 4-point lead, and a loose ball foul is spotted inside as bodies went everywhere. I think it's M.L. Carr. The penalty is in now.
Take a look how rough it is inside, Russ. Here's the outside shot. Everybody going for that potential rebound. Right here, contact.
See, that's Dennis Johnson there. He thinks he's 6'10 or 6'11. He doesn't know.
Yeah, he's going to get a couple free throws.
That foul, by the way, was on Maxwell and not Carr, and that's his first.
Here's a guy that can play it at both ends. 64 block shots. DJ, probably the best at both ends.
97 block shots last year. He may break that for this year's over the way he's going.
He wasn't voted into the All-Star game, but I'm sure he'll be there.
He was the MVP in that championship series of last year. And so it's back to a 4-point lead. There's your time remaining.
They should try to work it down and look for the last shot.
There's Bird trying to get open, having a tough time doing it. He protects the ball. Rebound, very fine effort by Maxwell. He's fouled. It will count.
That's super move. That was a great move Bird made. He changed hands and shot the ball with the left hand, and then Maxwell came from right under the basket to rebound and go back up and bank it in.
That's 3 fouls, by the way, on Lonnie Shelton.
Well, that's one of the things that some of the teams try to do is get Lonnie Shelton in foul trouble because he doesn't mind hitting you.
You're that big, you can do what you want, right?
Right. If you can take it, you can have the free throw.
I guarantee you he's going to dish it out.
Yeah.
A 1-point game now. The last shot of this first half.
3 seconds.
And Dennis Johnson is hacked by M.L. Carr.
That'll be 3 to make 2. They're going to give him the foul in the act of shooting.
1 second left on the clock. Johnson just went in and he just denied Carr anything. He just made him commit the foul. Carr now.
It's been a great first half. 1 point separates them at this stage.
Carr with his first foul. Dennis Johnson makes it a 2-point lead.
He can make you a good coach, Russ. DJ.
Not yet, he's too young.
Well, he's 4th year in the league, believe it or not. It seems like he's played a long time. And that will end our first half of play. What intensity we had in the first 24 minutes here at the Boston Garden. 42-39. We'll have highlights at halftime, a report from the Phoenix Open, plus a gentleman. And the intensity, I think, is pointed out by the field goal percentage in that first half. Look at that. Boston 37, Seattle with 39.
Not too good, but again, as Russ knows, defense is the name of the game.
And, you know, they're playing so intense, it's like, you know, most good rebounders don't have that soft touch because they're using strength. And a good touch requires finesse rather than strength. And it's very difficult to go back and forth. And I think that both these teams are playing so intense, that has a lot to do with the open shots they're not making.
So Boston with only 39 points in that first half, and as we recalled last week, they had 36 in the second half. They're low, but they're right in there, only 3 down.
They outscored Portland here Friday night, 37-15 in the third quarter. So the Celtics made their move Friday. Maybe they'd like to duplicate that here today, Bill.
Yeah, what they did, Cowens and Bird both had good quarters. And Cowens hit some outside shots, and he went inside. He can do both if he's on. Now, you know, it's very difficult because they don't ever go to a guy enough so that he can pick up a rhythm. It's almost like a chance.
Well, Larry Bird had only 4 points in the first half. He played 19 minutes and made 2 out of 7 shots, but he did have 6 rebounds, along with Maxwell 6, and Lonnie Shelton had 7 rebounds to lead Seattle.
The leading scorer in the first half was a man with a basketball, Gus Williams. He had 12 in that first half. Lonnie Shelton playing with 3 personal fouls. Dennis Johnson, Sigma. Shelton broken up nicely by Maxwell. And they say that Shelton touched it last.
Maxwell did a good job on the defense. Here we look at it again.
You got to try to deny the ball to those big guys inside. Try to play almost in front of them, not quite in front of them, so that you can knock it away. But also gives you time to get help from the weak side.
They leave Cowens open. He's still not getting that shot to drop. Dennis Johnson to John Johnson. JJ back to DJ, and they're working it around. Good movement, and all of a sudden Maxwell almost comes away with it. Gus Williams. John Johnson. Now it comes away. Seattle's done that. They just can't seem to get those shots inside to drop for him. Here's Larry Bird, a three-point play. Maxwell rejected by Dennis Johnson, goaltending.
Oh, that looked like a good block. I can't believe they called goaltending on that one. 6'4" guard went up and blocked that away.
Well, you don't see a lot of 6-foot guards getting goaltending called.
That's right. And especially when the ball was not near the glass, he just went up and knocked it down.
That'll give you a big ego, won't it, if the guard go up and reject a shot like that.
Oh, Lenny Wilkins really didn't like that one. He is really upset. We'll look at it again a little later here.
1-point game now. The lead enjoyed by Seattle.
Here we look back at that play a moment ago. Here's the shot. Right there, DJ knocked it down. You couldn't see the rim of the basket. Look at that expression. Superman.
We had a foul just a moment ago against Chris Ford, and so Seattle inbounds the basketball. John Johnson against Bird. Shelton. They're getting a multiple shots, but they're not getting them down. Cowens off to Archibald. Archibald out to Cowens. He needs to start hitting those shots outside. Bird up to Cowens. We'll try another one. Keep trying until you get it to go, I guess, as Shelton comes away with it. Boy, they clear out when he went in.
The shots they're getting may appear to be, but they are not good shots.
Good point. 1-point lead now for Seattle, 42-41.
And the reason they're not good shots is because they're standing around, and first, it's very difficult to make a shot like that when you're standing around. And second, your transition from offense to defense is always hindered.
John Johnson, he shot that one just as the shot clock went on.
They got DJ, JJ, and they got a Johnson on the bench. Benny.
Out of Baylor. They're rookies. They had 2 first-round draft picks. He was the second. We haven't seen Bailey yet. The guy out of Rutgers is so effective. Larry Bird, 6 points for the Bird.
They need some of that outside shooting from Bird. If he starts hitting, and Cowens, of course, will keep throwing them up. And if they start dropping,
well, you know, with scorers, Rod, they believe that the next one's going to go in no matter how many they miss.
Johnson gets it inside to Gus Williams. Reaching in was Archibald. Williams wanted that shot to drop, could not.
That's an ego
have a timeout.
2 little guys going down low, 1-on-1. So we got a timeout. 9 minutes and 28 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Well, Bill Russell, we heard Hot Rod's prediction of Super Bowl 14. Who do you like?
I like the Steelers and 3 points.
And 3 points, a field goal.
And 3, or about 3.
Out about 20 feet. right outside that line.
Gus Williams at the line misses the first one. He has 12 points, now 13, and it's a 2-point lead. And Ford, the intended man, and back quickly with Shelton. Heads up play by Shelton.
DJ's only hit 2 out of 9 shots in this game for Seattle. Ironically, Jack Sikma, who's been having a great year, went 0 for 7 in that first half in 18 minutes of play. He's yet to score in the game.
Got to give a lot of credit to Cowens, who's been working hard on him. It's a jump ball. I don't think John Johnson agrees with that.
No, he was telling him that, you know, Larry Bird's a nice guy, you know. And I like the way we almost shook hands on that play.
Shelton inside. Boy, did he get in on that one. Dead center. And it's 47-43, Seattle. You start thinking you're going to make a move on Seattle, and they start moving away from you. You got to keep close to them. Keep in contact. Maxwell. Nice play. He had to really stretch for that one.
He's been a very quiet hero.
They're going to have to do. They're going to have to go inside. As long as they're trying to shoot outside and it's not falling. And what you try to do is get a shot inside. So they've got to go to the basket if they're going to get back into this.
He forced that one. Cowens away with it. Here's Maxwell, who's leading the NBA with 62% from the field. Up to Ford. Looked like he's going to take a 3-pointer. Cowens will try one. Out it comes to Cowens. Good play by Chris Ford. Williams going for the steal. Archibald to Cowens. Cowens got it. It's all tied up.
That time DJ went up again. Almost got a block on him. That would have been goaltending without question.
And it's all even. 47 all. And that's the 6th time it's been tied in the game.
And the way that Boston gets back in the game, they'll have to go inside. That's what they did the last 2 shots inside. They're going to have to go inside.
And they got 2 or 3 follows, which they haven't been getting.
Watch Cowens again. Here's a good shot of him fronting Sikma down there. They've really been battling all afternoon.
Pushing and shoving. There's Williams backing in on Archibald. Archibald reaching in. It's out of bounds. It'll be the Sonics basketball. Boy, they almost pulled that one off.
Little bump and run here.
Sikma, 12 seconds on the shot clock. There's the shot he needed.
See how
keeps that ball up high before Cowens could react. He's got the shot away.
It's impossible, isn't it, the way he brings it behind to shoot and to be able to block it. 2-point lead again for the Sonics. Bird, boy, he set Archibald up.
See, when he gets the ball, he makes things happen. And they probably should get the ball to him more, not necessarily for him to shoot, but to make things happen. Because when he goes to the basket, he always draws 2 or 3 guys with him.
And now the Celtics have the chance to take the lead. At the 7:22 mark of the third quarter, Archibald. Ford, 3-point play. He scored a 3-pointer.
Boy, is he unbelievable what came from. That was cut on the rim, and he went ahead and shot and got it.
He leads everyone in that department. 48 of them this year. And it's 52-49. Favor of Boston.
Beautiful touch.
We have some excitement here in the Boston Garden. Chris Ford with the 3-point plays hit 13 of his last 15 3-point attempts.
48 on the year. I'll tell you one thing, that wouldn't have affected Russell's game when he was playing a 3-point field goal.
He'd have rejected it.
I would have taken a couple, 3 a year, until I made one.
You believe it? Ford's hitting 46% of those 3-pointers this year. There's Ford reaching in and committing a foul. That's his second.
That has really improved the game of professional basketball. Here's the foul. Ford reached around from the left side as well, went low to DJ. Seattle ball.
The 3-point lead for Boston, the biggest lead they've had in this game. Seattle led by as many as 7 early in this game. Johnson's out at the 3-point line. He'll try one. They let him have it. Maxwell fighting for his life in there.
Great rebound. He fumbled it momentarily, but he had good possession. Down with his board.
Listen to this crowd, would you? That 3-point play kind of stirred him up a little bit, and of course taking the lead didn't hurt either, as this Celtic partisan crowd is excited.
How about you? We're going to ask Russ if he likes that rule. What do you think of that?
I like it.
The 2 seconds.
I didn't think I would, but I do.
On the shot clock, Cowens
Because it
tries
hasn't
one.
had that much of an effect on the games, except it does add another element in the end of the game.
Shoot you in it or shoot you out of it?
That's a tough choice.
Sigma into Cowens. Dave Cowens committing the foul as he had one step on him. He tried to push him up.
Awfully hard to stop. Once he puts the ball up high to start with, then Cowens had to commit. Came out, and they drove by him, and he bumped him for the foul.
That's 3
Except
fouls.
he always goes to the right from that position. So that when you come up on him,
then you should be
come
over
up,
there.
yeah, on that side.
Johnson trying to get in. Look at Archibald hustle. Gus Williams. Sigma with it.
He's got a couple of buckets here in the second half, Jack Sigma.
7 earlier. That's right. And now it's a 1-point lead for the Boston Celtics. 5:40 to go, third quarter. Larry Bird, boy, he really draws a crowd. Ford. Here's Dennis Johnson.
Yes.
He scored, and he's been fouled by Cowens, and that's 4 on Dave Cowens. That's his 4th personal.
Well, he really went to the basket that time and put the shoulder in. DJ protected the ball well on that one. There he is laying it up. Just crawled over the iron. Cowens went down, but he's the one that gets the foul.
At the line now.
You didn't hear any footsteps coming from behind him.
Oh, he can't hear those things.
Sees that 2 points out in front of him.
He'll have another, the penalty in, as Rick Roby has checked in, replacing Dave Cowens. Cowens with the 4 personals. 54-53, a chance to tie it up, and it's all even. Less than 5.5 minutes to go, and this one is really shaping up to be a real finish. Here is Maxwell. And the crowd's on their feet. They loved it.
They tried its own press, and they easily beat it. Just threw it over the top. We'll look at it again. Perfect pass. Bird one-handed it. Left of the court. There's Cornbread. Put it down.
You see what happened, Rods, on most times when a team put the full-court press, what the offensive team tries to do to get the ball over 10 seconds. But that's when you should attack the press, is after you get over 10 seconds. Just go for the hoop.
You can see Sigma has his confidence back. He hits another one. He has 6 points. Archibald inside the basket will not count, but he's been fouled.
That's the first team foul of the quarter on Seattle. That's to their advantage with 4 minutes and 56 seconds left. The guy moves in low, looks like he's going to take a shot. You grab make them take the ball back out of bounds.
And, of course, Boston already is over the limit. Here's Archibald at the three-point area. Williams on him. Roby. Roby will have to play now with Cowens on the bench with 4. Ford. Maxwell, they're moving the ball well. Ford tries to follow. Sikma brings it out. Off to Gus Williams. Some move by Gus Williams. 58-56, a 2-point lead, and timeout is called by Boston as Bill Fitch wants to talk it over, as we have quite a seesaw game shaping up here in the Boston Garden. The Phoenix Open immediately following the conclusion of this game. Jack Mitchell, not very well known, had a 1-stroke lead after 3 rounds out there. And with 4:27 left in this third quarter, not a high-scoring game, but a very entertaining game from the Garden.
Both clubs have picked up their shooting percentages. Seattle 7 out of 14, Boston 8 of 14 here in the third quarter.
That was Jeff Mitchell, not Jack, that is leading the Phoenix Open. Here is Bird trying one. Roby rejected by Lonnie Shelton.
Nice pass.
Chris Ford on Dennis Johnson. Gus Williams trying to shake Archibald. He shot that one under a lot of duress. And look who came away with the rebound, and that's going to be charging on Gus Williams.
Well, Bird stepped in. That was a good call. He kind of faked it a little bit as you look again, but Gus put that right arm into him, and down went Bird, and he draws the foul.
Well, that's part of his education as a rookie to learn how to act. He's a couple more days and have to join the Screen Actors Guild.
3 fouls now on Gus Williams. Maxwell, nobody moving that much away from the ball. Off to Ford. Here's Roby.
Oh, that could be a charge.
That's going to be a charge.
Boy, that hurt. I don't think I'd want to take another one of those.
That's 4 on Roby. So both Roby and Cowens have 4 fouls.
Here it is again. Boom. Oh, I mean, he went into it. But old Lonnie got up. He's tough.
I don't think Shelton even felt it.
That fly off.
That's a nice try, kid.
Come again another day.
Inside 3.5 minutes, third quarter. Sikma, who has his shooting confidence back after going 0 for 7 the first time.
The fans thought he walked, but he made a good move.
Bill Fitch thought he did too. And so Seattle back up on top by 4. We've had 11 lead changes, 9 ties in this game. And we'll have a foul on Shelton, and Lonnie Shelton's in foul difficulty now. He has 3 fouls.
I think they're starting to call him a little closer here in the second half just to keep the game under control.
Well, that's one thing the referees have to do is when it starts to get a little rough and you can tell it's getting to develop something, the referee has to start calling them so that you don't have fights.
Fine pass by Ford. Roby can't get it. Maxwell keeps it in play. Bird tries to follow Maxwell again. And Maxwell's been fouled, and Boston doing a much better job on the offensive boards.
They're cramming them. They're forcing Seattle in a little deeper than they want to be, out of position for rebounds. You got to stay aggressive. The guard scoring in this game's 34-20 now. The Seattle guard's starting to move out.
That was John Johnson committing the foul, his second of the game. Ford, Johnson, boy, is he tough to shake. Archibald in heavy traffic. Roby, boy, he take a shot. He bounced outside. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Roby back inside and a foul.
Charging.
That's 5 on Roby.
Boy, look at this move. He actually walked 1-2 steps, leaned right in, and Shelton again took another one.
I think Roby a little frustrated.
Well,
there.
he thought about dribbling, but then he changed his mind.
You don't have to tape his chest up after the game.
Bill Fitch didn't like that call. He's down there saying something to Bill Oates at the other end of the field, of the court.
I thought it was walking rather than a charge.
Bird reaching in, and wait a minute, Johnson with the foul?
Yes, he kind of hit him in the mouth a little bit. Actually, he just wanted to see if the mustache was real.
Here it is again. With the ball right there, the left elbow. Hit him right in the throat. So,
they're getting a little testy out there.
Yes, they are. That's 3 on JJ. 2 of them in a hurry. 60-56. Williams with the steal. Ford commits the foul.
Backcourt, too. Saved DJ a little embarrassment. He's got a big grin on his face. He missed the dunk, but it wouldn't have counted anyway.
That's 3 fouls on Chris Ford. Be the backcourt foul, so Gus Williams the line, and 60-56. Both these teams now just a little bit frustrated as Gerald Henderson comes back in. Henderson 6'2" rookie. Good outside shooter. A lot of people feel he would have been a first-round pick this year had he been in the college draft.
We see with all of the banging around, the guys are starting to take its toll. The guys are getting a little tired, and that's the reason they're getting tested, is because you're getting tired and still getting hit. It's all right if you're hitting and when you're tired, but getting hit when you're tired it tends to irritate you.
Gus Williams now with 17 points. That's high for the game. 62-56. So after that 3-point lead by Boston, all of a sudden Seattle started to make a move. ML Carr in the game to Henderson. Carr backing in on Shelton. And it goes down.
He put a bump on Shelton again on that one. He moved it right into him. Lonnie was backpedaling, but ML made a good pirouetting move in the lane.
4-point lead for the Sonics. Sikma's 4 for 4 in this third quarter, is now 5 for 5, and he's found the range. It's interesting. He's done that before. He'll hit a streak where they won't go for him, and then all of a sudden he can't miss.
He's a percentage player, I guess.
Maxwell, Carr, reaching in to Shelton. And that's the surprising thing about Shelton, how quick he is for a big man.
Quick move with his hands. Watch him reach in and knock the ball away alertly. As ML gave him a move right there.
Larry Bird has 8 points. 4-point lead again for the Sonics.
It's been a tough game. 1:20 left, third quarter.
Sigma with Maxwell trying to stay with him. Bird over supporting. Tipped by J.J. Ron Johnson. That's what he does so well from that weak side.
He just slapped that one. I don't think he even jumped. It's coming right to me. He just held the guy off with the left arm and tipped it in with the right.
Sonics up by 6. Dennis Johnson reaching in. Archibald having a tough time, and he's been fouled. Lonnie Shelton, the guilty party. That'll be 4 fouls on Lonnie Shelton.
And the reason that John Johnson was able to get that rebound was that when Sigma hit 4 in a row, the other guys felt like they wanted to help him out.
The 2 men went to him.
Yeah,
right.
so 2 men went to him and left the 1 guy unguarded.
Paul Silas will come in as Shelton will sit down with 4.
You must keep your feet on the floor when you're guarding Jack Sigma. He gets that ball. That's got to be inviting, though, to go for that fake.
Henderson, who touched it last. It will be Boston's basketball. No, wait a minute. John now indicates it's Seattle's.
Here's your play again. Henderson lost it right there.
Yeah, right off of Henderson's foot.
Right out. Good call. Looked like a bowling alley going right through there. Nobody wanted to pick it up.
Seattle with the 6-point lead. 41 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
They want a quick shot so they get it back.
Boy, he just knows he's going to hit him now, doesn't he?
Putting a clinic on in the second half.
I got a lineman.
8-point lead. The biggest lead of the game now for Seattle. Archibald rejected by Gus Williams. Dennis Johnson. The preceding announcement was brought to you by the National Basketball Association, and there's the foul difficulty.
Roby Cowens, that really hurts them. They got to come back now with Dave Cowens because Sigma was really going to work when Maxwell had him in low.
We start this fourth quarter of play. An 8-point lead for the Seattle SuperSonics. Bird with Johnson on him. Henderson. Johnson with a rebound. Here's Dennis Johnson. Bird brings it down and we'll go to the other end. Henderson, Carr, Bird. Beautiful.
Super play. Unselfish by Carr. Penetrated and dished it right off. Bird for the score.
Bird now in double figures with 10 points. And you can see Celtics are going to try to make their move now. Gus Williams intimidated. Paul Silas, the finger roll. Boy, he's good at that, isn't he?
He's how to use his body, too.
And that's going to be Seattle's basketball. 11:07 to go, fourth quarter. Don't forget, immediately following this, we'll be going to the Phoenix Open and then Super Bowl 14 from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. There's Gus Williams having it broken up by Archibald. Boy, next Sunday, what a basketball game we're going to have. Atlanta against San Antonio from the hemisphere. Down there in the Lone Star State. Henderson to ML Carr. Cowens playing with 4 fouls. He got it.
Well, Lenny Wilkins said, hey, let's slow it down. Don't get in panic here. We got the lead.
sellout crowd here in the Garden. Bird giving Silas some difficulty. And we're going to have a foul call. Wait a minute.
Offense. Oh, Silas doesn't like that. Look at Lenny Wilkins. He's not happy either.
That reminiscent of that foul against John Johnson earlier.
He called him passing to himself.
Oh, is that what he did?
Well, that's what the referee called.
Take a look at it again. Yes. Right here, he tried to swipe it away, picked it up. Right there, that's it. That's a good call.
It is. Nobody else touched the ball. Way to go, Russ. You picked that one up. 72-66. Here's Bird. Beautiful pass, but Carr couldn't handle it. And look at Henderson.
Boy, they're not afraid to use him. Bill Fitch has put him in pressure situations a lot of time, and he's responded well.
After being down 70-62 after 3 quarters, they made it 72-68. Brown having all kinds of trouble. Silas, 10 seconds on the shot clock. John Johnson. That'll quiet him for a little bit.
The old silencer.
Yeah, that kind of brings the crowd to their seats.
Put him right back in him.
Yeah. Out to Henderson. Henderson now going to set it up. Off to Cowens. The cutter is Carr. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Cowens. Carr trying to rebound. John Johnson instead.
It's okay to slow it down. And again, Seattle will set the offense up. They don't want to run it at him.
Silas really being pressured by Larry Bird in that wing area. Johnson double team. Celtics hustling. Sigma walked with the ball. Defense really starting to pay some dividends now for the Celtics.
Look at it again. You'll see the walk. DJ whips it out to Jack. Right here, he takes 1-2 before he put it to the floor.
Oh, he just decided to change pivot feet, that's all.
That's 16 turnovers against Seattle. Bird a three-pointer. Sigma keeps it in play to Silas. Boy, when Bird shoots from 3 points, you got a feeling it's going to go every time, but it did not. 74-68. 6-point lead by Seattle.
Well, Cowens lost his footing, but Sigma wouldn't shoot.
Silas. Rebound Cowens. The Seattle team's on a long road swing. Started in New York, coming here.
He's hurt.
And Cowens has been shaken up. We're going to have a 20-second injury timeout.
He twisted his ankle on the last defensive play coming across the middle. He tried to switch, and he and Sigma bumped into each other and twisted his ankle.
You can bet he's hurt because he asked for the timeout himself. And, of course, the trainer out there with him, along with Coach Bill Fitch. Well, if they were to lose him, that would really be a problem.
You know the trainer's saying, "You're all right, big fella."
Put the magic fingers on him. Touch it. Here was the play a moment. Right there, he slipped down.
Right.
That's when Sigma passed on in instead of shooting.
They say that Cowens worked so hard in the offseason to get ready for this year. He and Archibald both came in excellent shape. Cowens hitting the weights, and he's not a...
Look at this.
He can hang in there pretty tough.
The trainer's done it.
Yeah, he talked him into it.
Right, Cowens stays in the game.
8.5 minutes to go in this game. 74-68. Seattle. Carr with Silas. Henderson. John Johnson again with those rebounds. He seems to always have that backside cover.
We're speaking of Jack Sigma for Seattle on offense. In the first half, 0 for 7. This half, he's made 6 out of 7.
And he's going to look for another one, maybe. Reaching in as Cowens. That's 5 fouls on Dave.
So he got to come out and play him tight now, Russ, because he's hitting his shots. Right there, he got him.
Well, if he's going to shoot from 15 to 17 feet, you shouldn't have to go up on him. If he's going to make those,
beg your pardon?
Still, that's not the shot that's going to beat you.
7 of 8 now in this second half. Boy, what a difference he's been. Archibald, tough play, and he got it. 6-point lead again for the Sonics.
On those shots, under the conditions, you have to play him straight away and make him make the outside shot.
Dennis Johnson, a shot that was tough because Bird was in his face.
He forced that one. Not a good shot.
Archibald a chance to cut it to 4.
High speed.
Headed for Carr and a foul inside. Archibald drawing everyone on himself on that play.
Carr would have had a layup, Russ, but he dropped the ball there. I don't think you could see Tiny in traffic there when he shoveled it off to him.
Yeah, he shot it before he had full possession. That's why he lost it. That's typical of those big guys.
Silas with his second foul. And Chris Ford, as you just saw, came back into the game. Larry Bird That's turnover number 14 against the Celtics. Again, a 6-point lead for the Sonics. 7:13 to go in this fourth quarter. Johnson against Ford. John Johnson trying to follow. Carr with it. Broken up by Dennis Johnson, but Carr's got it back again. Ford, Cowens. Boy, it looked like that was headed in.
Did everything but stay. That's the way my putts have been doing lately.
Golden opportunity missed there.
Looked like one of your hooks, too.
I think his had gone in. Here's Dennis Johnson. Leaves it short. Boy, what effort by both teams, and they're not getting those two shots the last times down to go. Ford to Bird. Bird forced that one over John Johnson.
Well, he rushed it. He had more time than he thought. He was, I'm sure, thinking he's going to get doubled up here quickly, so he just turned and shot it too fast.
Jay Larry's learned a lot in a game like this one, isn't he? First time he's played against Seattle. Here's Sickman. That's one of the few he's missed. Only the second miss of the second half.
Now, Cowens had a hand in his face that time.
Chance now on a three-point play to narrow it down. John Johnson comes away with it. And timeout is called. Carr flying through, but timeout had been called, and John Johnson didn't like that rough treatment at all. 5:57 to go. Fourth quarter, 6-point lead for Seattle. Seattle with a 6-point lead, the 5:57 mark. This announcement, immediately following the conclusion of this game, we will have a CBS News special report in regard to the 1980 Olympics. So we'll update you immediately following the conclusion of this game here at the Boston Garden. Fred Brown will inbounds the basketball for the Sonics. And broken up because Shelton and Silas collided. Here's Archibald, a chance to cut it to 4.
They need one here badly. Here's a three-pointer right there.
He got it.
That'll do it. That'll bring him back.
That's twice today. He's been able to hit a three-point play, and it's a three-point game.
Look here, you watch him. He'll look at the line, step back, and then put it up and in.
And just a moment ago, we were in that replay. Tiny Archibald committed a backcourt foul, pressuring on the end line. And that will be his third personal foul.
Who's hurt?
A lot. Give a guy 2 shots and a pretty good free throw shooter, too.
Yeah, and you're coming off that three-point field goal.
Right.
You got momentum, and that takes it away from you.
Because you give them 2 without having to work at all.
You said a good free throw shooter. You can say that again. He's shooting 81% for this year. He's always been excellent from the line. Last year, he shot 89% from the stripe. Well, Brown has bumped it up 77-73.
Gets nice backspin on his free throws.
Made it look easy, didn't he? 78-73. Dennis Johnson. Both teams playing the tough defense. Dave Cowens, yelling for some help. Up to Carr. Ford. Again, there's just nobody inside. Open. Ford, another three-pointer. He's uncanny. 2-point ball game.
Up from the left side.
Sigma loses. Carr, they can tie it up. Shelton brings it down, and everyone was on their feet on that.
And a great defensive play by Dennis Johnson, too.
Yes, sir. Lenny Wilkins is upset. He's standing up on the far sideline. And the Celtics still with a chance to tie it up at the 4:42 mark. ML Carr, it's deafening in here now. Bird, and again they don't get it, and again Shelton has a rebound.
Well, he's been a workhorse. Playing in there tight. Big play.
Boston with 5 men in double figures. Seattle with 6. The good balance scoring and a foul.
Offensive foul
On Fred Brown. Going to be on Sigma, by the way. That's the second foul on Sigma away from the ball.
He had the ball up top there and threw an elbow. But they've got to keep their cool. Seattle's up by 2.
78-76. Ford. He's hit 3 outside. Carr's inside the 3-point line. That'll be a 2-pointer. It's tied up.
locker room for all time.
That is the 10th tie of this game. 78-78, and it is deafening here in the Boston Garden. Sigma, Shelton, no basket.
Tried to duck it.
Shelton about brought that one down with him.
Not in the act of shooting. We'll look at it again. Sigma dropped it into him right there, the foul. Shelton went, turned, and tried to put it down.
For ML Carr, that's his second personal. And that is the 14th foul against Boston. Silas with Bird on him. Sigma, boy, you get the ball, you better be ready, huh? Carr with a rebound, and the Celtics have a chance now to take the lead. Archibald. Bird has it batted away. It's off of him. It will be the Sonics ball. Larry upset at himself.
Well, he wasn't alert on the play. Archibald made a good play right there. He just fumbled it.
Hit him on the hands.
I tell you, Larry Bird has played in a lot of pressure-packed situations, but this is a new experience, I think, this afternoon for the rookie from Indiana State.
And we're tied.
This year's been 88, Seattle 86. They might both fall below that the way this game's going. 78 all. John Johnson, Carr on him. Shelton. That was a very fine set play.
They got Bird, took advantage of the size, I think, there. He just muscled right over Bird easily.
Ronnie Shelton having a good game. He has 12 points. Carr out to Archibald. 3:08 to go. Cowens on Sigma.
That's the old Bill Russell clear out. They still use that play. He's left-handed. Russ was left-handed. They used to do the same thing and let him drive in to the basket.
11 times we've been tied. Gus Williams, Cowens, and Sigma battling. Sigma hits Archibald. Archibald is shaken up. He's going to get back into the play. Shelton. Boy, Archibald really hit the deck. Again, a 2-point lead for Seattle.
Those little guys will stay out there next time, I guess.
Dave Cowens trying to find Bird open inside. Bird covered very, very well by John Johnson. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Carl Pump.
He might be just as effective if he'd take a step back. He's right just in front of that three-point lane.
9 points for ML. 82 all. Just outside 2 minutes to go. Fred Brown gets around Ford. Boy, they rubbed him off on that one, didn't they?
Now everybody's hitting everything they throw up.
84-82. Bird into Cowens. Kicks it out to Ford. Or Carr, I should say. Rebound Brown. It will be Seattle's basketball.
1 minute and 49 seconds left in the game. 84-82.
Fred Brown, Ford on him. Again, Ford getting picked off by Sigma, but it's Larry Bird coming away with the basketball off to Archibald, a chance to tie it up. Cowens. Out to Archibald, Larry Bird. Shelton's on him, Archibald. Beautiful.
Sigma anticipated he was going to shovel the ball off to Cowens, and Tiny took it right to the hoop.
13th tie of the day. 1:20 to go. Carr trying to reach in on John Johnson. Shelton, look at Shelton. He went up and pushed Larry Bird away, and he's called for a foul.
I think Shelton kind of jumped over his back a little bit on that one.
Here it is again. Right here's the contact. Look at Bird's expression. Shelton came down with the ball.
He said, I think he hit me.
They didn't do that at Indiana State.
He was looking to see if he had any teeth.
We're all tied up. We'll be back after this timeout. Okay, we're looking in now at Lonnie Shelton, who committed his 5th personal foul on that last rebound. He's playing with 5 and Cowens with 5.
Well, he's played with intensity throughout this game, and that time he just leaped over the back of Bird to get that foul.
You know, the coaches now can start to try to manipulate the shots so that they can get the last shot if it's a tie ball game.
We have 1:11 left in it, so it's getting down to that time.
Yes, they have to start early. They can't wait till the last last few minutes, and then in the last few seconds, they said, well, let's try to get the last shot. They got to start trying to maneuver now, whether to take a quick shot or to hold it for 20 seconds.
Boston, of course, is going to keep trying to penetrate. Seattle, defensively, is going to have to stop Archibald, who we talked to at the top of the game about his fine play, and that's been the secret of Boston's success on many occasions late in the game.
So there's the picture. You see it on your screen. 1:11 remaining, all tied up, 84 all.
Boston's bench has scored 17 points. Seattle in relief with 16.
Everybody's going according to schedule, so you got a close game.
Don't forget, man, immediately following this, the CBS News special report on the 1980 Olympics, then to the Phoenix Open and Super Bowl 14. Stay with us. 1:07 to go in this game. We're all tied. Archibald, picked up by Williams to Cowens. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Cowens on the running hook. Rebound, Sigma, a foul.
That'll be M.L. Carr, I believe, coming over the back of Sigma on a rebound. Big play.
Boy, Cowens walked down to the other end, and you should have seen the expression on his face. He was upset he missed that shot.
He had it right in. He's had 2 or 3 of them, Russ, just like that, come out on him.
47 seconds remaining. Shelton out to Johnson. There's your time remaining. There's 9 seconds on the shot clock. Sigma. Hit by Shelton. Carr comes out of there with it. I mean, he had to yank it out of there. You see the time remaining in the Celtics now. For 24 seconds, they're setting it up.
They've got about 6 seconds difference on the shot clock and the game clock. 10 on the shot clock to get one away. 15 on the game.
Cowens. And Seattle has called a timeout. They will take it at the midcourt line with 13 seconds remaining in this game. Dave Cowens, who missed one a moment ago, hit the big one.
This is a much better shot because he got the ball in the right spot at the right time. So now he's set up real nice.
He faked in, Russ, dropped back, and Archibald gave it to him.
Right.
All right, Bill Russell, what is Lenny Wilkins going to do here?
Well, he's going to try to get the shot with at least 5 seconds. And the reason for that is if you miss it, you want to have a chance to get an offensive rebound. Now, if it was a tie ball game, you would wait until the last second to shoot. But if you're 2 points behind, you want to get a shot in time. If you miss, that you got a chance of either stealing the ball or getting an offensive rebound.
Are they going to work their offense to any one guy or just who's open?
I would probably look for 1 of 3 guys, either Gus, the second choice would probably be Sigma, and then Dennis Johnson.
And they may, you don't rule out a chance at a 3-point jump shot outside of win it all in 1 shot.
I wouldn't think so.
We should mention both teams are in the penalty. Boston has 2 timeouts remaining. Seattle has 1. 13 seconds left. They'll have it at the midcourt line when we come back out. Boston, who's lost only twice here in the Garden, trying to keep that remarkable record going as they lead by 2, 86-84.
Both teams are in the penalty here, too. So any foul committed, you'll shoot free throw. Of course, with one exception, an offensive foul would give it up.
Now, what Boston's got to do is play tough defense, but don't foul, and make sure that they miss it, that they get a defensive rebound.
All right, the stage is set. You see the time remaining? A 2-point lead for Boston. Now, wait a minute.
They're going to call another timeout, I believe.
Yes, they are.
They wanted to take a look at the defense, and now they'll take a defense timeout. Go back and look again.
That gives Boston 1 timeout. So both teams now have 1 remaining. What do you think he saw in that short length of time?
Nothing.
Here's what we're taking a look again. And look at Bill Fitch. He's saying, hey, what's going on? Everybody's going low, so let's take a timeout.
Huh.
Well, you think they're not ready for this one? Regroup. Get out the drawing board again.
Well, Bill Fitch now is trying to counter. Now, if you're Seattle, do you change or you go back to what you're going to do earlier?
You go to your strength and do what you were going to do.
There he is. Jack Sigma.
I think the primary shooter would be Gus Williams, most likely, and Sigma, because he's been shooting well in the second half, would probably be second choice. And then if both those guys are unable to get a shot, then you probably use Dennis Johnson because he shoots under any condition.
Here's a situation where maybe this guy could have been put into the ball game, but they're not. Apparently not going to do it. Freddie Brown, who can shoot from outside. You need all your offense in here, you would think.
Well, what they have, they're going to have Williams, John Johnson, Lonnie Shelton, and Jack Sickman.
But what they do, they have a lineup there that they have confidence in.
That's right.
And so
if
you
they
don't
miss, they can get the rebound,
right.
too.
So you don't change that to put in a designated shooter.
Right. And this is the starting five that opened the ball game.
Right.
On the other hand, Don Chaney now is checking in for defensive purposes for Boston, number 12.
They'll smother the ball on the inbound pass, perhaps.
13 seconds left, Boston by 2. Gus Williams, you can see the time. Archibald giving Williams trouble, broke it up. Who's got it? Bird comes away with it.
There's 3 seconds left in the game. I believe we've got a foul.
Loose ball foul on Lonnie Shelton.
And the penalty, of course, is in. So they'll be shooting a free throw.
Loose ball foul on Lonnie Shelton, I'm pretty sure, because there's Bird now. Got the ball. Boom.
Looks like a football game, trying to recover a fumble.
It would have been Boston's ball either way. Without a foul, Shelton ran it out of bounds. Boston would have had the ball.
Shelton fouled out of the ball game. That was his 6th foul. And so with the penalty, they'll be shooting the free throw, Larry Bird.
They'll have 1 plus a penalty for 2.
Now they have 1 timeout remaining. They could get the ball and still move it to center court, and you have that 3-point play, so he needs to make at least one of these.
Right there was
You
your
got to make both of them to put it out of reach.
That's right, but one still wouldn't win it for you, Bill.
Right.
That's what that 3-point play does. We had a game like this Christmas Day, the same thing, remember?
Washington and Philadelphia. So Larry Bird, he makes them both. They should be home free.
But if he makes one, that's not enough, because they can call timeout and have it at midcourt. Uh-oh. We're still in this game. They're still in it.
What might be smart here would be to miss the second one and make him come the length of the court or fight for the rebound. But with 3 seconds, I'm sure he's going to try and make it.
Timeout. 3 seconds left.
Now you see the 3-point shot.
Now.
That's right.
Now you may go with
Brown.
like Freddie Brown.
Designated shooter, yes.
So there's the difference. And you know what Seattle's calling? They're calling for the 3-point play. Hot Rod Hundley, Gary Bender, and Bill Russell on hand. And Bill, you said it very well during that last break. Tough teams.
Both of these teams are tough teams.
Okay, strategies mapped. They have Fred Brown in there, an excellent 3-point man. That's what they have called. There he is, number 32.
A designated hitter. They could use him, even though he's cold, as a decoy.
Well, you know what you could do if you're Boston. You go to shoot, foul him to make sure he doesn't hit it.
Right.
And he gets 2 free throws.
And you still win. You're up 3.
Right. You're up by, as if you don't want to take a chance.
Let him inbound it, take a dribble and grab it.
I put my defense so that he couldn't come outside this.
That's an interesting thought.
That's the thing that they should do, I would think, is maybe give a foul.
3 seconds left, and wait a minute.
He's got to give. Larry Bird was just pressuring Johnny Johnson too
stepped
close.
out of bounds.
So give him a little warning to back off of him.
What do they do if he does it again? Is that a T then?
I'm not refereeing.
Johnson to Fred Brown, broken up, and that took a second. 2 seconds left. 3-point lead for Boston.
They're going to foul, but Fitz is yelling, grab an arm or something once the ball comes in. Oh, he's a 3-point range. That'll count. Yeah! Unbelievable! Overtime! What a play! Look at DJ hit that one. Can you believe that, Ross?
I told you?
Cross-court pass. They had everybody covered. He backed out and took it. What a shot. Let's look again. Look at here, Russ. JJ lobs it over. DJ steps behind the line, takes a look, and puts it right in the bank. Unreal.
As I said earlier, the primary targets that Dennis could shoot under any conditions.
There it is again from a different angle. Beautiful play.
He's done that a couple of times this year.
Look at here. He's going to make it 3 times in a row.
That other guy with a high percentage of three-point shots.
Well, that's some finish to the regulation of play, and now we have a 5-minute overtime coming your way after we pause for this. We're into overtime at the Boston Garden. A 5-minute overtime as we'll go to the center circle. Jumping up will be Tom Lagarde, who's checked in, along with Dave Cowens. Each team now will have 2 timeouts during this overtime period. As what a finish to the regulation play on that shot by Dennis Johnson, who has the basketball now.
That's a new rule this year in the NBA, and you can see that circle around the outside of the free throw line area. Anything behind there, a 3-point field goal, and DJ got it.
This is Dennis Johnson, the hero of just a moment ago. He's going to try another one. Fourth shot. Cowens bats it to Bird. And they fight for it again, and they're going on the floor for the ball. Interesting, thus far this year in overtime situations, Boston is 2, or should say 3-1. Seattle is 1-1.
Rush, you think Boston can come back now?
Well, I think that took a lot out of them. It's just a matter of how tough they are. If they're a real tough team, they just say, well, okay, we got to do it again.
Archibald back there. Beautiful play. Cowens getting it up, and the Celtics draw first blood in overtime.
He's cleared out the weak side, and away he went for the layup.
Williams, John Johnson, they come back the other way. Dennis Johnson, Silas, Dennis Johnson again. That's tenacity. 89 all, a minute gone by in this overtime. Celtics lost here a week ago today for only their 2nd loss at home. They don't want to have it happen again on a Sunday afternoon. For what enjoyment they provided the last 2 Sundays. Archibald, he's knocked down. Tom Lagarde comes out of there with it.
He wasn't hit hard enough.
By the way, Lonnie Shelton fouled out, you might recall, at the close of that regulation play. Jack Sickman's getting ready to come back in for Seattle. 89-89, Lagarde with Cowens all over him. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 4. Williams. Archibald. He's got broken up by Gus Williams, recovers, and Bird's all by himself. Archibald was decked on the other end. He thought he was treated rather roughly. Lenny Wilkins not happy. His team down by 2 with 3:06.
Almost a great defensive play by Gus there because they had 3 men down court. But Archibald alertly got it back.
Bird giving Silas a lot of problems. Forward on Dennis Johnson. Tom Lagarde. John Johnson traveled with it.
That switching defense, Russ. Boston doing a good job there.
We see this Cowens stepping out there caused that. Now, what the defensive center tries to do is just a flash out there, but he can't step out too quick because then the offensive center can go to the hoop for a give and go.
You saw a shot of Shelton, who's run out of eligibility today, fouling out. 91-89, the favor of the Boston Celtics. 2.5 minutes to go in overtime. Ford broken up by Dennis Johnson. What quick hands he has. To Gus Williams, and running over Nate Archibald was Dennis Johnson.
Well, that was Larry Bird getting the foul, I believe, on the layup try.
But look at Nate Archibald away from the ball. He was just literally run over.
Right there, I would say it was a foul, too.
Oh.
Bird made a little contact. Dennis Johnson with a super defensive play to start it on when he took that ball away from Ford looking for a shot.
Right. That's what makes Dennis Johnson so tough. He's a better shooter than most people realize, but he's so tough defensively. And he makes most of his good defensive plays down the stretch.
Williams with 18, now 19 points, and it's all tied up again. 91 all. Interesting how Archibald was really decked on that last drive down there. This game's been tied up now 16 times. Archibald, he traveled with it or is on the end line?
On the end line, he slipped down with the ball, but stepped out of bounds. There it is again. See Sickman jump out in his path to slow him down. He wanted to reverse, lost his balance.
And now the Sonics with a chance to take the lead. 2:10 remaining in overtime. Williams gives them the lead. Gus Williams now with 21 points.
Seattle back in front by 2.
93-92, Ford trying to get the evening basket. Boy, is Johnson all over him. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Cowens with 4 seconds. John Johnson brings it down, and now the Sonics with a 2-point lead, and they have the basketball.
Well, they have time in their favor. 1:32 left. They must stop them this time.
Williams with a hot hand. Bird brings it away. Archibald, he can tie it up. Ford follows it.
What a play. He fumbled the ball and ended up getting a 3-point try. Here's Archibald. Had an easy layup, fumbled it. Goes right to Ford. Basket's good.
I didn't see anybody hit Ford,
and
though.
nobody hit him. They give him a foul.
Unless they give it to Archibald.
They're going to give it to Silas, who picked up the foul. That is his third.
I didn't see the shooter get hit.
Really?
I tell you, it's good hustle on Ford's part, though.
Yes.
Saved that play. There's Archibald going out. He's been on the floor about the last 3 times down the floor.
So Cheney's in for defense.
94-93, 1-point lead for Boston, 1:17 to go.
Like here, I think if Boston gets the ball back, they'll come back with Archibald, take Cheney out. Cheney's a fine defensive player.
Carr on John. Look at the pushing on Collins and Sigma. Dennis Johnson saves it. Almost runs over Earl Strom. Collins. That's it away. It's over Seattle.
Boy, what a play by Collins, huh?
You saw three great plays just in a matter of a second.
Here comes Archibald, like we thought. Here's
Come
the
in
play.
for Cheney.
Collins knocked it off the leg of Johnson. So Archibald comes in, Cheney will go out.
Yeah, first he had a good defensive play. Carr stole the ball. Then Dennis Johnson steals it back. And then Collins steals it back.
There's not been any lack of effort in this game.
94-93 Boston.
Collins going to try to add to that lead. Johnson brings it down with 47 seconds left. They're down by 1. Archibald trying to draw the foul into Sigma. Look at Sigma and Collins. Collins with 5 fouls. Archibald commits the foul. Collins playing tough despite those 5 personals.
That was on Nate Archibald.
He reached in to help out. Sigma wanted a shot, but Collins this time is playing him up as tight as he can. Seattle ball.
Second team foul against Boston. Silas to Gus Williams. Williams hammered again by Archibald. Ford and Archibald. Who are they going to call it on?
Archibald.
It will be Archibald.
31 seconds. Now Seattle can take the lead.
And we should mention the penalties now in after the 2 fouls.
He'll get to a 4th foul in the overtime as a penalty. This is the 4th team foul. They have 14 fouls, and Seattle has but 1. It's 3 to make 2. He'll get 2 more chances.
94-93. That will tie it up. 1 more coming.
Oh boy, what a game, huh?
And now the Sonics with a 1-point lead. Williams, thus far, a total of 23 points, and timeout is called. Bill Fitch off on the floor. We've had a lead change 20 times. We've been tied up 16 times. Boston got a timeout. I'm not sure they wanted it. Fitch is wandering around over there like he didn't call it.
I don't think Fitch wanted it.
But he got it.
Because they started to dribble up, and either you call it out of bounds or you wait to get to the front court. Now they got to start in the back court again.
They got 28 seconds left. Of course, you got the 24-second clock down to 21, which means Seattle will have plenty of time to counter regardless of what Boston does.
Well, with 28 seconds, timeout situation, Seattle with 2, Boston with 1. Who do you go to in this situation?
We'll go inside of Collins, huh?
He has not been shooting well this quarter. And so it doesn't seem that would be a good idea to go one-on-one with him anyway.
One of the best of the West against one of the best of the East. It shows you how competitive this league is this year.
Great basketball. Last week, a great game. LA winning 100-98. Here we've got an overtime. Strategy prevails every time the ball changes hands. In the last couple of minutes of the regulation, same thing in overtime.
Seattle's fighting for their life in the Pacific Division, Boston and Philadelphia.
Chris, you get the
Here's Bill Fitch.
ball on this side, you get to the three-point areas. Dave, you and Larry's going to go off of either you or Max. He's got it. Are you kidding me?
Did you pick up much of that?
No. And I don't think many of the players did either.
We'll find out. Somebody better pick up on it. Here we go.
Immediately concluding this game, we'll be going to that CBS special news report regarding the 1980 Olympics. Ford, a three-pointer. Yeah! That's 4 of them for him today.
Timeout Seattle, but they're only 2 up now, so Seattle could come back within 17 seconds. They don't have to shoot the three-pointer.
Right, now they got it.
That's 4 of them that Chris Ford has hit. 4 in this game.
He's going to revolutionize this game, isn't he?
You know what? I don't think he shoots that well from 3 feet closer.
That's his range. He said, stay out here. Bring it on out. That's great when you've got people like an Archibald or whoever to penetrate, and he could float out there. Most of them, during the year, he gets them out of the corner. But in this game, 3 of his 4 have been more out laterally.
And you're closer on the side, aren't you? You're 22 feet out from the side, 23.9 out in front.
Right. It's almost 2 feet closer in from the corner.
He's 4 of 4 in that department. He came in here shooting 46% on those three-pointers. That's incredible. That's a long ways. I stood out there, and I can hardly get the ball there.
Take a look at his field goal percentage. As you look at it again, as he makes the shot from out front.
But I want you to take it at him.
It's out there.
If it's there, take it at him.
He's 46.5% on all shots, and he's 46.1 on those shots, and he's hit every one of them today, so he's better from long range than he is inside.
That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, Ron?
Unbelievable. What's this game here? Yeah.
4:30, Super Bowl 14, Pittsburgh and Los Angeles. I tell you, everybody's going to be
Now
worn
the
out
question
after
is,
this.
do you go for a three-pointer to win? I think they're trying to go inside to get another overtime.
Right.
We'll have a CBS special news report. Then we'll have the Phoenix Open. We'll eventually be out in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena for Super Bowl 14. Just plan your day around CBS today.
Here we go.
Gus Williams, Archibald on hit. Yeah! 97 all, and now Boston will call for a timeout.
11 seconds. Now this time, I wonder if they're going to listen to him.
You mean that all that conversation was about that three-point shot?
I think it was an option in the last option. Here's a play to Gus. He spins it to the free throw line, right side angle, and hits a jumper. Good defense right on him. Archibald was there.
25 points for Gus Williams. You believe we've been tied 17 times, 21 lead changes, and we still haven't decided the issue with 11 seconds left.
Gus would have missed that shot. You think those people didn't want rebounds? All those bodies are locked in there underneath.
Nobody could have jumped.
You saw the timeout.
No, so tight, no one could have jumped.
You saw the timeout situation. Boston has no timeouts remaining.
And Tiny, you wait for that pick from Dave. Come out in here to get the ball.
Come in here, Tiny, to get the ball.
Only cross-court that you just set a pick on.
You know what the coach does in a situation like this? He tells them everything he can think of, and then he says, let's score. I hope they do one of them.
Set up in here, and as we come off the 43, no, you're going to back off. So Tanny, you'll be able to go back to him.
I should mention again, both teams are in the penalty, and interestingly, Pitt says take your time. 11 seconds is a lot of time.
Right. Well, you see, what Boston wants to do is take the shot at the last possible minute so that Seattle doesn't have a chance to get another shot. So if they miss, they go in overtime. They don't want to shoot it so that Seattle have a chance to come down and shoot. Or get a foul, a free throw.
Pressure's all on Seattle here. Here's the toughest pass, the first one. This is where you would put pressure.
And Archibald gets it reasonably easy. There's your time remaining. It's all tied, 97 all.
3 seconds.
You can say it, Ford. And we're into our second overtime. No, they just didn't get that play set up at all, did they?
That was not a good shot to take under those conditions. And see all that conversation that Fritz said. He's saying, now, did you guys remember what I said? And he said, well, Coach.
Well, we'll be ready for another 5-minute overtime. Right now, let's pause for this. Well, let's set the scene again. Second overtime, total of 5 minutes. Both teams with 2 timeouts. They'll be in the penalty after 4 team fouls. And now, who's really in better situation? We thought maybe Boston was at a disadvantage in that first overtime. Has that changed any?
I don't think there's any advantage. Both clubs have come this far.
Well, it depends.
Going to the third overtime.
If Collins doesn't foul out there, that's
a good point. 5 fouls on Dave. Sigma will start this overtime. He did not the other one. They started Lagarde.
Hey, Chris Ford's human. He's missed one out of 3-point range.
Well, that was a poor shot. That must have been 35-footer.
He had to throw it just to beat the buzzer.
97-97 as we start this second overtime. Sigma against Bird. Silas out to Johnson. They still have the shot clock running at 4. Rebound by Gus Williams. He's fouled. Larry Bird and Archibald around him.
The reason why the ball didn't hit the iron on the first shot, so the clock continues to run. Gus Williams will get 2 free throws, so Seattle will get a chance to move back in front here in the third overtime.
A foul going against Bird. That's his third. Second overtime.
Right.
Forget after a while there's so much has happened to
I know.
Are you starting to look ahead, Rod?
That's a good way to patent your batting average here. 26 for Gus.
27 now. 2-point lead. 99-97. What a demanding game this has been. Look at Johnson all over Chris Ford. He doesn't want him to shoot another 3-pointer. Archibald to Cowens. ML Carr, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Ford leaning in. Jack Sigma rips it out of there.
Well, they are both still playing hard.
Yes. That's because they're tough teams, and the tougher it gets there, this is why these teams have such good records. They don't ever give up. They break it down.
Look at that pass. Sigma behind the back. Beautiful.
The ghosts of Bob Cousy are going to come around here a little bit if they see that anymore. 101-97. That was his wraparound specialty. Archibald to Bird. John Johnson beaten off the ball by Carr, and that'll be a foul on ML Carr. Carr now, total of 4 personal fouls. There's your time remaining in the second overtime, 3:42.
They don't want to get 6 down. They better tighten up their defense here.
Boy, they lost a tough one a week ago, didn't they? 100-98. They don't want to do it again. Williams. Bird with the rebound.
Seattle doing a good job getting back defensively. Here's Archibald going in.
Tough play. He hit Sigma all over him.
Boy, if he finds an inch, he can get a field goal. That's an incredible shot there. He squirted that one right up and in.
I'll tell you, Archibald's going to have a tough time getting up tomorrow. He's hit that floor so much. 101-99. Dennis Johnson out to Sigma. Diving on Cowens. Chris Ford trying to steal it.
Here's Archibald a moment ago driving in. Watch how he squirms in there. Put it right up over the big guy Sigma. Right to it. You'd have blocked that one, Russ.
I tell you, Bill Fitch had to be nervous on that last play, the way Cowens was bouncing up there with those 5 fouls. Look at this steal. Bird broken up. Here comes Gus Williams. Look at Cowens hustle down.
Well, that's a big play. Bird was a little late making his pass. He had Archibald absolutely wide open. That's a 4-point swing. Instead of Boston getting 2, they go back and Seattle scores.
Gus Williams with the foul, reaching in on Archibald. A 4-point lead for Seattle in the second overtime at the 2:32 mark. We'll have a CBS News special report coming up. the Phoenix Open Super Bowl 14. What a way to start out this Super Sunday here on CBS. Carr will come out. Cedric Maxwell replaces him. Archibald in heavy traffic. I don't know, they did it.
No, they're going to take it away.
They gave him the basket, but they called a foul on him.
There it is again. He made the shot. Down went Tiny.
He has 19 points and also 4 fouls. He's paying the price, isn't he?
No, I think they were calling goaltending just in case he didn't go in.
Okay, 103-101.
I was going to say that would have been the most unusual call.
That's what I thought. Sigma.
Oh, Bird missed. He didn't time his jump right. Silas got it.
That's where that experience pays off. 105-101. Archibald again. Cowan's trying to follow. Here comes Gus Williams. He takes Bird in. Silas again. Boy, Silas done yeoman work the last 2 times down the floor.
He's like trying to move a tank out of there when he gets that position.
See,
you don't have to jump to get rebounds.
But that's what makes this team so tough, is that there's always somebody doing something. They're a very active team. Now, Silas hadn't done very much all day. Now just made 2 key plays going down the stretch.
But the big one was that first one. Bird should have had the rebound, but he jumped too quickly.
Silas not a very good free throw shooter. He shoots 64%, but he hit a big one there. 106-101. 16
years in the NBA.
He's played over 1,200 games. So it's a 5-point lead. Celtics 140. They don't have a lot of time to play around with. Bird.
You can see Lenny Wilkins standing up right behind Bird, just watching it all the way. He said, oh, it's going to go in.
3-point lead. 1:27 left in the second overtime. You see the time now. Archibald trying to stay with Williams. Stickman. Dennis Johnson with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Maxwell the chance to cut it to 1. Archibald out to Dave Cowens. Cowens going to take it in. Sigma gives him all kinds of difficulty, and it's going to be Boston's basketball.
You can't play a better defense than Sigma did on that play. He knew Cowens was thinking shot all the way.
Right, and so he's playing for shots.
Look at the pushing now as we'll go to the live action here. Some pushing and shoving going on as they jockey for position on this inbounds play. Earl Strom over there.
Earl Strom will get in there. He'll go with him.
Tell you, he's in a big crowd there. 58 seconds left. Cowens meets him, gets it to Maxwell. Out the 3. That would have tied it up.
Oh, boy, Peter made that one.
Now with 48 seconds, you see it ticking away. Sonics now in the driver's seat with 43 seconds. Broken up, then Sigma. Sigma and Cowens bouncing off of each other. Big hoop for Sigma.
That should just about do it. A 5-point lead, 35 seconds left, and Boston will take a timeout.
So Bill Fitch with 35 seconds, going to have almost a miracle now to get this one pulled out. But we've seen some very unusual things happen today.
Got the trainer over there rubbing down Chris Ford's right arm, right?
It's amazing what he has done today. He won 4 of 5 on 3-point plays, and he just missed that last one.
Keep him away, officer.
Who's that guy? I'm getting tired watching this.
Each guy go for the pass that's made to his man. Everybody play his man tough, but go for the pass that's made to your man. And if you don't get it, be in pursuit. Now we've got to go down inside. Tiny, just take it, and we'll take a 42 on the run. So in other words, Chris, you're coming off, and you come in here, and Dave, you line up in here so they can just bump off of you coming. There'll be a 42 on the run with Tiny coming. You come out as far as you want, Dave, here, to make that pass, but it's got to go inside. Now, Max, you post up. Chris, you stay in that 3-point area, and Larry, when you break here, you go to that 3-point area. So that it's just max down low for the two-pointer. Comeback. You guys out there. Come on, we got to get the comeback. Quick, quick. Come on, get the comeback. Come on.
What did you glean out of that? 42 on the run, whatever that is that calling the number of Chris Ford?
Well, what they're going to try to do is get inside. And if they get a good shot inside, they'll take it. And if they have to drop it out, to drop it outside the three-pointers.
Tell Ford to stay outside after they start to try to go in low.
35 seconds left. 108-103. Celtics need a hoop. Cowens broken up, and that'll do it. Silas comes away with it. We'll be switching to CBS News for a special report on the 1980 Olympics. Immediately, conclusion of this game. Archibald on Gus Williams.
He's got 29 points in the game. Gus has been just great all afternoon.
He leads his team in scoring with a 22-point average.
DJ had 20 and some great defensive plays.
And they run the shot clock out, but they could care less with 3 seconds left in the game. There's Lenny Wilkins. Big win for his club, who has a long road trip yet before they return to the great Northwest.
Doesn't seem like the roads bother them too much so far.
Well, they were 20 down Friday night to the Knicks. Come back and win it. I made a comeback here on an incredible three-point play by Dennis Johnson that put it in the first overtime.
I would say they're still the team to beat in the NBA. They want to be the first team since your team, Russ. 68, 69, you came back and won those 2 back-to-back NBA titles. Nobody's done it since then.
That's a long time.
Yes, it is.
Just get one.
Russ has got 11 world championship rings. 1 for each finger and 1 for a necklace.
At the price of gold nowadays, I may be rich pretty soon.
I understand he took a couple away from you, Hot Rod.
They took about 4.
Well, Rod had rings before, you see. Different types, but we did.
The brass ring.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed this one, and what activity we have coming your way after the CBS News special report, the Phoenix Open, and then Super Bowl 14, one of the real classics in sports.
This has been a great basketball game, though, Bill, and more of them to come. Next week, Atlanta and San Antonio.
That should be quite a shootout, shouldn't it? Yeah, those games should be different than this one. This has been a tough physical ball game that it's like it's almost like Seattle wore Boston down.
And so Maxwell will inbounds the ball for Boston as they come back with 3 seconds.
They need a 5-point play if that's possible.
Don't think they'll get it.
You need a technical foul, 3-point jumper, and another foul.
Archibald. Ford's going to try another 3-pointer. He got it. It counted. And he is 5 of 6 for the day on 3-point plays.
And they win it by 2. Seattle.
108-106. So our final over here at the Boston Garden. Now we're going to go to CBS News for a special report on the 1980 Olympics. Points, and we had 29 points from Gus Williams. And looking ahead, men, to next Sunday, what a game we'll have in San Antonio as Atlanta will go again.